Okay, the Commissioners Court of Brazos County will meet in regular session on January 27, 2026, 10 a.m. in the Commissioners Courtroom at Brazos County Administration Building, 200 South Texas Avenue, Suite 106. First item on the agenda is invocation of pledge of allegiance of the U.S. and Texas flag. Commissioner Nettles will lead those.
If you'll bow your heads with me. Most Heavenly Father, we come to you today, ask for your guidance and wisdom as we make decisions that affect our constituents and residents of the county. We give gratitude for the ability to live here in Brazos County in the great state of Texas. We ask for your protection of those who are impacted by inclement weather and those who may be struggling, and also our first responders who have been out throughout this entire bitter cold, that you would be with them and their families. In Jesus Christ's name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Commissioner. Second item on the agenda is call for citizens' input and our concerns. We've got a few that wanted to speak. Adam Purdue. And state your precinct you live in.
Adam Purdue, Precinct 2. Welcome back, Judge. Glad you're healthy.
Thank you.
So I'm disappointed today to be speaking off agenda. 2 months ago, Ms. Watson and Mr. Cundalo joined interim Judge Cascal to agree to sign a contract that was contrary to what was being discussed and promised that it meant. Instead of signing a contract that ruled that ITS's contract must be renegotiated with every project, the county, as Judge Casal had described, the county instead signed a contract with ITS that went into perpetuity. We were promised that in January we would see a new contract discussed that would lower ITS's payments because they were supposed to have a project done in January, an additional project, and have a step down of their contract. That is not on the agenda this week, and so that's not on this month. We were also promised that there was going to be openness and transparency for the citizens about the ITS contracts and all of these step downs, and there is nothing about ITS contract on the agenda this month. And this is because we signed a contract instead that said ITS gets paid in perpetuity, right? Despite promises that were made from the dais otherwise. And so then this 5 citizens at least got up and discussed this problem. To make promises like that and then not sign a contract that actually states those promises is exactly the kind of slapdash governance that has been aggravating the people of the eastern part of Brazos County. And then Judge Peters, the first thing that we heard you say once you became judge again was to disparage the intelligence of the people of the eastern Brazos County. They're talking about how we do not understand how population growth and traffic does not work, or works. And so I really want to ask you clearly to let us know, who do you think got the wrong data? The process is supposed to use the State Demographer's Office forecast for the population of Brazos County, which every time it has been reforecast in the last 15 years, it has been pushed down and growing slower with less and less population going forward. The MPO then uses that forecast to spatially distribute the population across Brazos County. The engineers, Credidity, that you hired, then used those forecasts to illustrate that the Inner East Loop was not going to have any impact on traffic in Eastern County. So I ask you to state clearly which one of those parts of the actual process that was supposed to happen do you disagree with? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. As you know, we don't respond back in the public comment. Cindy Wiley.
You've got my time. Okay. Just checking. Okay. Good morning, and welcome back, Judge Peters. We had a great True Texas Project candidate forum on January 13th with 80 persons attending. We appreciate all who came to talk and observe those candidates who are asking for your vote. We're hosting another forum on Tuesday, February 10th at the VFW on Harvey Mitchell with our CD10 and Commission Court candidates. The same speed dating format. You can purchase food. We will start at 6 p.m. with our Commission Court candidates, followed with 6 of our CD10 candidates. Regarding agenda number 27, this comment is for the legal department. Actually, I'm making a correction to it. I've talked to Christian. He understands that the approval order has Kyle Cassell's name in there, and he's making the correction on that. Regarding credit card charges made by those who have cards, who will have oversight? Will the charges be paid by a line item or by the statement balance due? How will the charges be transparent to the public? We want you to trust, but verify. Please address this when you talk about agenda item number 13. The next topic was brought to my attention from a guest at the January forum. A candidate's office had the campaign sign from another candidate posted by their office front door. The voter was conflicted seeing the sign. Obviously, they liked one but not the other. I was sent a picture and I contacted the candidate. He removed the sign, replaced it with his own campaign sign. He was genuinely thankful and even sent me a picture of the change. This is a lead-in to the next situation I will address. I'm also sharing with everyone on this dais the question: is it proper for any one of you to place a commissioner court candidate's campaign sign on your property for public display besides your own campaign sign? Does that show an obvious bias? You share a dual position, private and elected. The obvious perception from the persons that have expressed an opinion, and I say persons plural, on this issue say it's common sense that our Commissioners Court representatives should remain neutral regarding candidates vying for a Commissioner Court position. You may or may not agree. The appearance of non-neutrality is both a reflection upon you and the candidate. You may have posted a sign endorsing. In other words, it is not seen as tasteful to be advocating for a particular Commissioner Court candidate when you sit on the same dais they are campaigning for. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Cindy. Kyle Greenwood.
Good morning, Court. Kyle Greenwood, Precinct 2. Welcome back, Judge.
Thank you.
Earlier this morning, I sent a letter via email to Judge Peters, and I provided a copy of it for the court for your review as well. Texas Tax Code 11.13N allows any municipality to extend a homestead exemption of up to 20%. In May of 2022, candidate Conderla informed the community via a Facebook post about the contents of a conversation he had held with you, Judge, pertaining to discussion of implementation of this homestead tax exemption, and he promised to submit that to the court for full consideration. I've done some review and I have not been able to find any documentation that ever occurred. I assume it does, and so I've submitted an open records request for copies of those documents. Nevertheless, I would also like to formally request that the court consider implementation of this homestead tax exemption and place this as a workshop so that we can have an open public discussion about this. Let me say, I don't know if this is a viable option for the county to consider. However, I do know that my neighbors and I would appreciate some tax relief. And I believe the only way for all of us to know whether or not this is viable is to have an open and honest public discussion about this topic. So that's my request. Please host a workshop session to discuss implementation of the homestead tax exemption.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Kathy Bean.
Good morning. I'm not sure this was on because we could not hear Mr. Greenwood speak. I'm not sure the microphone was working when he was speaking. Good morning. Welcome back, Judge Peters.
Thank you.
Commissioners, I was here for the earlier session, and even though I spoke to two of you about this, three of you about the tax abatement discussion, I want to put it in the public's venue that I'm asking the court to not enable data centers to come in and take advantage of a tax abatement plan. So if you could exclude them from any tax abatement negotiations ahead of time and then prevent that whole debacle. And I think everybody's familiar with what happened in College Station and what happened in Brenham recently. So I'm asking that you have that taken care of before the end of February when that adjustments are going to be made for the court that Ms. Gonzalez spoke about. I also wanted to bring to people's attention the amount of money that goes through this court. You know, I'm always focused on the money. I noticed that payroll bi-monthly is over $2 million. That doesn't include benefits, I don't think. That's a lot of money. We spend a ton of money on our support contracts, of well over $1 million. We just authorized $10 million on the fourth floor of the 101 building. We spent money on the Roy Kelly parking garage. There's a lot of money coming through here that I'm not sure are imperative to the population, and the results to the tax rates and evaluations of property is of concern. So I would just ask that you be mindful of the projects that you're voting on and how that affects the people in this county. And I just wanted to reiterate what Cindy was talking about. We're having our True Texas Project Forum on February 10th. People in Precinct 4 and Precinct 2 for the Commissioners Court are going to have candidates in attendance, and we would like the citizens to come out and talk to those candidates and see who might be on the court next year. And we also have the CD10 candidates coming. So I would encourage people to come. VFW on Harvey Mitchell at 5:30 for the precincts and 6 o'clock for the CD10 candidates. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that's the final speaker. We will now move on to presentation and discussions, but this one needs to be tabled. I don't think there was quite enough information to come back, so I guess we need a motion to.
Number 3?
Or do we just skip it?
Can't
Maybe-
hardly hear you.
I beg your
They
pardon?
can't hardly hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. This one, I don't think they're prepared yet to get that presentation, so we'll just move on. I don't think we need to take any action on it anyway. So, yeah, so that we won't have that presentation this morning. It'll come up sometime in the future. So we'll move on and consider and take action on agenda items 4 through 33. Number 4 is approval requested for Constable Precinct 2 for acceptance of donated wheelchair for use of the county administration building.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 5 is approval requested from Fleet Services to accept the donation of 1 set of ballistic glass in the amount of $8,400 for Operation Safe Shield.
Move to approve.
Second?
Motion made, seconded, discussion.
It's a great gift to our county.
Yep.
Do we know where that's going to? Or have we decided where that ballistic glass is going to go? Precinct 1? Okay.
Okay.
Great way to protect our officers out there.
We just need a lot more of them.
Yeah.
Okay, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 6 is approval of acceptance of donated unclaimed property left by inmates leaving Brazos County Center in the month of April 2025.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 7 is approval of the following reappointments to the MHMR Authority, Brazos Valley Board of Trustees. Term of appointment is March 1, 2026 to February 29th, 2028. And it's A. Mark Moltzberger and B. Dr. Tammy Tyner.
I've moved to table A,
I second that.
Okay.
Table,
and the
Table
reason being is he is currently a candidate.
that's true.
And I don't think it's appropriate for us to put our thumb on the scale or even appear to put the thumb on the scale. I appreciate his service and serving on this board before, but we're 35 days from the beginning of the election, and I think we can wait that long to decide if he can be on the board for another term.
Okay, so I've got a motion and a second to table A. Any further discussion on A? All in favor say aye. Opposed? None motion.
I'm abstaining.
Well, you're going to abstain. Okay, thank you, Commissioner. And so we'll go to B then, Dr. Dan.
Move to approve B.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to approve Dr. Tammy Tyner. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 8 is approval of resolution for Brazos County OPEB Investment Committee.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 9 is approval requested to apply for fiscal year 2027 Specialty Court Mental Health Grant, which includes the following. And if I could get an approval for A through B, unless there's somebody got a
Yep. Motion to approve A through E.
E.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve A through E. Any discussion?
The only discussion I have is I was a little disappointed in our cybersecurity compliance rate at 88%. I'd love to see us get into the 94, 95%, but that really has nothing to do with this grant.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Commissioner. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 10 is approval requested to apply for fiscal year 2027 Specialty Court Adult Drug Court Grant, which includes the following.
Move to approve A through E.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 11 is request authorization for a wire transfer of $5,424,281.22 to Health and Human Services Commission, the uncompensated care demonstration year 15, for the benefit of participating hospitals using funding from the Brazos County Participation Fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion.
Now, I'd just like to point out, since Commissioner Kondo is not here to do so, that this is a pass-through and has no budgetary impact on our county budget.
Thank you, Commissioner, for filling in. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 12 is approval requested from Fleet Services for issue of U.S. Bank credit card to Dwayne Holloway for a credit limit of $2,000 for conferences, travel, and other departmental related expenses.
Move to approve A through B.
Second.
No, it's just,
I guess
There's
just
no
A
A
on
through
this.
B.
I mean, you just, so we got a motion to approve that. Number 12.
Yes.
Do I hear a second?
Do I need a second again? Second the correction.
Okay, motion made and seconded to approve 12. Is that correct? Am I?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Judge, I've got a number of questions to ask on
Okay.
this, and I think this is a good time to respond to Cindy Wiley's questions that she had having to do with our credit cards. And will the charges be paid by line item or by statement balance, and who has the oversight on this?
Well, and do we have a credit card policy for the county? Good morning.
Good morning, Marcy Turner, County Auditor. We do, in the County Auditor's Office, we review all the charges by line item and then reconcile to a statement.
Okay. And the other question I had, we're all over the place. For the last 2 or 3 meetings, this always comes up, that somebody needs a credit card limit raised to $1,500 or $2,000 or $2,500, and somewhere on here, somebody asked for $5,000. And I'm wondering, do we actually have a stated policy on these credit cards? And here comes Mr. Wonderful.
Pardon my voice. We do have a credit card policy, but it does not address the individual charges allowed. We review that on a case-by-case basis, depending on the size of the department, the potential use of the credit card, and the request that we forward on to y'all. Items like that to determine if that amount that they're requesting is appropriate.
And we are getting rebates back now to the county?
Yes, sir. I don't know how that it comes back in through either the auditor's office or treasurer's office. I don't know if we've been going quite long enough with as many charges to actually see the rebates come back in yet, but yes, sir, we're supposed to be, because I think it's done like once a quarter, and
Okay.
it's the previous quarter, so.
Can we review the policy and maybe have a workshop on it if needed? My suggestion would be that the department heads and elected officials have authority to approve up to a certain amount of credit card authorizations, and above that comes to the court. But we have 900 something employee slots. I don't know if this person's worthy of having an extended credit card. I mean, I think our public defender, head of that department certainly is, but the other folks, I have no idea.
I mean, the statutes stipulate who has authority to purchase what, but regardless, they still have to go through the levels of approval, whether it's through purchasing for goods and repairs or what have you. What has to come to the commissioner's court, but
Okay.
I'd
Well,
be
maybe
happy.
you and I could just visit about it. I'm just
I think
real
so.
curious.
Yes, sir.
And Charles, we haven't had any complaints from anybody about that they missed the old Diners Club cards, have we?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay,
Not
good.
yet.
Thank you.
Some people like antiques.
Yeah. Yeah, my wife does.
And back to Commissioner Nettles, understanding the financial record keeping and the checks and balances that come through when someone uses a credit card, in terms of, I know when I've had things charged through my travel mostly, the exceptions and what is charged, there's so many checks and balances. I can't imagine that any person that we allow to use a credit card within their department may be able to do something inappropriate, but to kind of, somewhat impugn the integrity of a person who works for the county because we say we don't know, we've hired them, they've gone through background checks. I think that's a little bit much to kind of say, well, are they worthy to have a credit card issued to them by the county? Because as she just stated, they're going to go through they're going to determine whether or not there are eligible charges on those credit cards. And so I get a little concerned, little concern when we're somewhat impugning the integrity of the people who work for the county.
Well, I don't think
I
I'm
don't
trying
think-
to impugn anybody's integrity, but I have seen mistakes, and I've made mistakes myself, so
And
how
I
do we
think,
govern that?
right, and I think that we have enough checks and balances through our fiscal departments that those mistakes will get caught. But it won't be necessarily that they are purposely going out and buying a Starbucks on a county credit card, or going out to dinner inappropriately with those credit cards, because there are consequences to doing those kinds of things. So I get a little concerned about expressing it quite that way.
Okay, is there any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 13 is approval requested from U.S. Bank, credit card limit to increase the following employees, Desmond Harris and, from $1,500 to $2,500, Nathan Wood from $1,000 to $5,000.
Move approval. Oh, we already did that, didn't we?
No, we hadn't got
Move approval.
a second.
Second.
Okay, discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 14 is approval requested from the following Brazos County social media use policy, best practices, and standard operating procedure, and personal use of social media.
Move to approve. A
Second.
and B.
Motion
Go
made,
ahead.
Second.
motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 15 is consider and possible action of standard operating procedure for workshops.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made and seconded,
Let's
and
double second.
we've got stereo. We've got, I think, one to speak, Adam Purdue.
Hi, Adam Purdue, Precinct 2. So yeah, I just have one little problem with it. Part of this movement to two commissioners' meetings a month was to open up more time during the rest of the month to be able to hold workshops and to engage with the public. And now instead, you have within this standard operating procedure for workshops a stated preference to have the workshops on the same days and in the same week that you have commissioners' meetings. And so, if we were trying to open it up for more discussion and more interaction with the public, then you can just remove that preference, and then y'all still get to put it whenever you want to. But the stated preference, right, is just keeping everything at the same time, making this meeting, right, part of moving it to 2 times a month instead of every week is also going to make this meeting longer anyways. And so it's going to make it even harder for people to be able to get enough time to come to the workshops and to the commissioners' meetings. So I would ask that you strike the stated preference that these that the workshop meetings happen before the commissioners' meeting or during the same week of the commissioners' meeting. The going back on the stated reason why we switched to fewer, longer meetings, right, to open up more time for the public, it's just continuation of this commission's maneuvers that just seem to be almost all guided to limit public participation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I will say that I've had a few concerns reading through it too. I mean, one of them that I saw, this would be one of mine too, that, just specifically saying it's got to be on a certain day. Man, a lot of times something comes up and we may need a workshop sooner rather than later, and if we limit it to that, and then of course we already know that we've got 3 business days we've got to now post, and I mean, my concern is that it kind of, government in general is slow, no matter what, but based on all the hoops that you have to go through to make sure you're doing everything right. And I would, to me, this one may cause us to slow things down a little more, and I wouldn't want that. One of the other things that I saw in there that I was a little concerned about was 2 off the Commissioner's Court to approve a workshop. We all know that 1 off the Commissioner's Court can put something on the agenda, and if we require 2 from the Commissioner's Court to set a workshop, here's my concern, and here's a scenario that I could see happening. Let's say I want to have a workshop on something, whatever it is, and I go to Commissioner Precinct 1 and say, hey, here's what I've got going. I want to have a workshop on it and explain all that stuff, and you tell me, I don't really think we need to have a workshop on that. So would I be committing an open meetings violation if I go to a second commissioner to find out if they'll support it. In my opinion, that's the risk is there that we could potentially violate an Open Meetings Act, and I certainly don't want to get us into that kind of a position. So that one, you know, bothers me some too. And again, I'm afraid that some of these things would actually slow us down. I don't know. I saw Nina held her hand up, and I see Trevor's.
Good morning, Nina Payne, Budget Officer. Thank you so much for keeping in mind regarding the budgeting process. I did notice that in the policy. Besides that, I'm requesting it to be tabled. I'm not sure department heads, elected officials had time to really review it as much as having a workshop to discuss it. When we talk about budget workshops leading into public hearings, there are so many days that we have to hit. Some counties have a public newspaper that does daily, but yet we're set by deadlines. And when we have to submit public requests to the newspaper to meet 5 to 7 days before we have a public hearing. Usually before we have a public hearing, we have to have a workshop. When it comes to a lot of budgetary items, we have 10 days. Within those 10 days, we have to make sure we have a workshop. We have to publish in the newspaper between 5 to 7 days. Then we have to have a public hearing. How it's written now, it's really strict, and we might not be able to meet those guidelines, as well as attaching agenda items. I try to attach all my items to the agenda that are for the public to review, but I want to keep in mind that my numbers change to the moment I walk in here to give that workshop. I do not want the public to have different copies, especially when it comes to numbers or tax rates or the ending balance. And so I cannot promise I will have items attached to those agenda items. I try to give it to the Commissioners Court to review in time. That way y'all have it, but publishing it to the agenda will be hard. As well as having public comments during my budget workshops, not mine, but as Commissioners Court budget workshops. Those workshops are designated to the departments as well as to the Commissioners Court to listen to the wants and needs of that department. The public has 2 public hearings that they can discuss their public consents and comments when it comes to the budget, and we continue to hold those. My time in front of the Commissioners Court is very limited, and so I want to keep it to where it's to the departments and elected officials discussing their budgetary aspects for the new year to Commissioners Court. Like I said, we have public comments during public hearings to discuss the budget as well as tax afterwards, and so I just want to keep that in mind. But I do request this item to be tabled. That way we can have a workshop, and the language can be a little bit better regarding some of the items in here. Thank you.
Judge, I move that we table this
Okay.
item and come back with the changes that were discussed this morning.
Second, absolutely.
Okay, so hold on just a minute. I think we had a motion and a second to approve, so I'm not sure how the best way to handle that. I think it has to happen first.
Yeah, you need to withdraw
You want-
your motion.
Would you want to withdraw your motion?
I'm looking to Ed, see what.
No,
what
let's,
procedure-
I would withdraw it, you know, because
But-
you know, he brought up some very good points, and she brought up some very good points that weren't being considered, so how do I rescind my second?
Well, the proper would be for the court to take action on the original motion in second, and let it succeed or fail as is, and then move on to the second. You have to take care of the underlying motion that's been first and seconded.
Okay.
So can I withdraw that, or?
No.
If the judge recognizes the withdrawal, you can, but proper protocol would be to go ahead and take action on the first and the second.
Okay, so
So
let me
would-
ask, who made the second? Did you make the
I
second?
did, well,
So are you
I'm
okay
rescinding
with?
my second.
Okay,
So I'd like to make some comments before I
Okay,
consider
all right.
doing this. First of all, preference of when a workshop is scheduled, just that. It doesn't mean you can schedule it any time, but this court should control its schedule. And so we all hear certain days for certain, so it's better to stack those. The second thing is, having these meetings all require the same notification requirements, which puts a burden on the county support staff, which is why we moved to, one of the reasons we moved to having it twice a month, so that they wouldn't be on this endless cycle and get burnt out. Secondly, the applicability of the Open Meetings Act. Open Meetings Act applies when the court is going to take action. Workshops don't involve the court taking action. It involves the court talking to each other and talking to staff. We don't have the authority to vote during a workshop.
That's
So the Open Meetings Act would not apply, Judge. And I know we ran this by Ed, and he had opportunity to look at it, and also reached out to TAC General Counsel. There's no statute that applies to workshops, which is one of the challenges we have. And there's no procedure. I'm a big person. I believe that if you're going to have a professional organization, you need to have written procedures. And right now, we have none. Now, in terms of the budget, they're specifically exempted from this. And that for that very reason, because the budget, this is not an intent to mess with the budget process or cycle. What it is an intention to do is have a deliberate process by which we approve workshops. And we don't just have people saying, oh, I want a workshop today, go ahead and notice it. And suddenly we start this cycle of scheduling the commissioners and the judge. And one of the reasons that came up is I asked then the acting judge about a workshop we're going to have, and he didn't know anything about it. And I'm like, well, who approved it? It wasn't a budget issue. And so how do we get to the point where we're actually bringing the court together to have a workshop when nobody on this court knew about it? And that's why we need a written procedure. But I'm happy to withdraw my motion so we can table it and have a discussion about it. But I think if we're going to have a professional organization, we have to have written procedures so people are accountable and we're transparent to the public.
Okay, so let me just make a comment on the open meetings. My concern is a walking quorum.
But you only have a walking quorum, Judge, if you're going to vote on something.
Well, it's always that preliminary. If we're going to have a workshop, then it's probably going to be for something that might be acted on in the future. I mean, typically that's what a workshop is about, is to have that discussion and see how the court feels in public so that the public can hear it and know it, and we can all talk about, those things. But if my concern is if one of us is walking down the hall and saying, here's what I want to do and here's why and all that, that may approach that walking quorum, which is a violation. So maybe it wouldn't rise to that level, but it would concern me. So, okay, well, so you
Move to withdraw my original motion.
okay, so the original motion's been rescinded. So now
And I made the motion.
is there something we should?
Well, I was just going to clarify, because in regards to a meeting, and that's really what we're talking about, a meeting. Anytime that you implicate 3 or more members of the court, it does become a meeting under the Open Meetings Act that requires that protocol to be followed. So I wanted to throw out that clarification. And in regards to the quorum issue, my research over many years, and I haven't been corrected so far, so I don't claim to know everything, but it really hinges on the word and action made by the court of deliberation. What is deliberation is that cognitive process and to determine what position a court member may take on an item. And so that's, I think, precedence as far as, or needs to be in the court's mind when you talk about walking quorum. It doesn't necessarily encompass a vote per se, but a determination mentally on a particular subject.
Okay, so now I think there's been a motion for a table.
Correct.
And
Second.
Seconded. Okay, so a motion and for tabling, and I would assume then we'll probably want to have do we want to have a workshop, in the future to discuss this workshop policy? I mean, or we can do it and have whoever drew this one up take from today and bring something back up and then see if there's any issues with it, whichever. I guess first of all, we'll just go ahead and take a vote on the table. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so it passes 3-1 to table. And then I guess we'll either, someone can ask for a workshop. Right now, we don't have workshop policy. So my assumption would be it would need to be a commissioner that would, or county judge, that would ask for it. And I would assume today, the way we have it, and typically I think this is what we've done, is then they poll the commissioner's court to see a date that and time that might be work for the most of us, and then that's how we'd set a workshop, in the future, and then of course it would be posted 3 business days ahead of time. So that's, I guess, if one of the commissioners asks for a workshop on that, that's what we'll do. Otherwise, we'll see if it can be addressed somehow internally and come back before the court for a vote. Okay, so that one's tabled. Number 16 is approval of interlocal agreement between Bryan College Station Metropolitan Planning Organization and Brazos County, Texas for local funding for South College Avenue, University Drive Complete Streets Plan.
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay, motion made and seconded. We have someone, Christine Shimmick, that wants to speak.
Before I get started, if the timer's not working, okay. Let's see. Good morning, first of all. Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. I'm speaking on agenda item 16. Just a quick review. Back on December 16th, this item was presented as a discussion item when Mr. Rudge, the Executive Director of the BCS MPO, discussed it as the complete street plan presentation for Brazos County. The goal is to generate an action plan for 2 studied roads. Number 1 is the College Avenue to make the street accessible, safe, comfortable for all users. And the second street is University Drive, the grade separations. TTI estimated cost to complete this plan is $300,000. There are carryover funds of $175,000. For the balance, Mr. Rudge requested funding from cities of Bryan and College Station and Texas A&M. All 3 have committed to $40,000 each. Okay, the MPO will use a technical advisory committee for this project. Mr. Rudge requested a matching $40,000 from Brazos County. And for this $40,000, this enables the county to participate in the study. The word used was study, but it was clarified as the action plan production by Mr. Rudge, and to appoint 4 members to participate on an oversight committee. So back to today's agenda item number 16. If this item is approved and $40,000 of Brazos County monies are committed, then as a concerned citizen and a permanent resident of Brazos County, I respectfully request that this court appoint me as one of the 4 Brazos County members on the Oversight Committee. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I don't know whether, I wasn't here when the discussion originally happened. I don't know whether we need any more. I'm sure y'all are aware of what the discussion was before. We got a motion second. Do you want to speak?
No, I'm here to answer any questions that you have, so.
Okay. Do we have any more questions? Okay. We'll take a vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 17 is approval of requested from Purchasing Department to declare a list of surplus property as salvage according to Local Government Code 263.152 and authorize destruction or other means of disposal.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 8 is approval of the following justice or juvenile contracts.
Move approval A through C.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 19 is approval of the following juvenile contracts, 1 and 2, due to per-day price increases. So, do I have a motion and
Well, move approval.
for A through C?
A through C.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 20 is approval of addendum number 5 to contract 19-149 dental services for the jail to extend agreement for 1 year and add a minimum amount per day of service.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 21 is approval of deductive change order CIP 25-581 Dillashaw Tap Road reconstruction with Brazos paving for $164,662.99, decreasing the total contract to $591,433.91.
I move approval. Boy, we don't see a decrease in hardly anything anymore. This is great.
Second.
A motion made and seconded. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 22 is permission to advertise RFP 26-069 medical lab services.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 23 is approval of Evaluation Committee RFP 26-069 Medical Lab Services.
Move to approve A through E.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 24 is approval of final plat of Brazos Valley Estates, lots 1 through 4, block 1, 18.35 acres, Isaiah Kurtz Survey, Section 18, Abstract Number 11, City of Curtin, ETJ, Brazos County, Texas, sites located in Precinct 2.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. We've got one to speak, Todd Hayes.
Good morning, Your Honor, Commissioners. I only came in case there were any questions regarding the plat.
Okay, all right.
There aren't any.
So are there any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 25 is a request to consider approval of acceptance of roads and drainage structures within the right-of-way of Cook Crossing Phase 4 into the Brazos County Road Maintenance System, structures in compliance with the Brazos County subdivision regulations, sites located in Precinct 2.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 26 is consider and take action Brazos Wi-Fi utility permit for directional bore 4,300 feet of fiber optic conduit within the right-of-way of Overlines Road. Project is needed to relocate the existing direct buried fiber line since it's too shallow. Sites located in Precinct 2.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 27 is approve the treasurer's report for October of 2025.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 28 is Commissioners' minutes for the following dates.
Move approval A through D.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 29 is budget amendments, FY 25/26 budget amendments 9.01 through 9.06.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 30 is personnel change status.
Move approval.
Second.
Second.
Okay. Motion made second. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Number 31 is payment of claims.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion made seconded. Discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None motion carries. Let's see, we will skip down to number 34 is acknowledgement of the Outstanding Community Partner Award presented by to Brazos County from the Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History in recognition of Brazos County's continued support. And I think
Yes. So, on January 10th, there was a Bright Stars and Bow Tie tribute to President Bowen Lofton. And it was a fundraiser for the Natural History Museum, which is also associated with Brazos Valley, with the Brazos Center. And so, as a thank you to the county, we were awarded this beautiful statue. Anyway, I've grown attached to it, but I think it's really lovely. I think it's really lovely. I was so honored to be able to accept this on the behalf of the county. It's a lovely tribute for our contributions and what we do in terms of our support of the Brazos Valley Museum of Natural History. And I hope if any of you have children or grandchildren that you take advantage of going to that. They offer all kinds of classes and field trips. They talk about anthropology, paleontology, and all kinds of things that I think is just excellent for children to learn, even outside of the classroom and when you're looking for things for your children to do. But again, I am honored to have accepted this on the behalf of the county. I'm supposed to award it to the judge, but I'm kind of holding on to it. But nonetheless, I think it's absolutely beautiful, and I want to thank them for the honor and of acknowledging us for what we do. We get so few atta-girls and atta-boys, or atta-courts, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, this is it, and I think it's just fabulous, and I love elephants.
I was going to say, Wanda, that looks kind of balanced over there with that elephant on there.
Yeah, with that what?
That elephant on there makes it look kind of balanced on that.
I know. I know. Anyway, I'm gonna set it up here for y'all to look at. It is
Well,
really beautiful.
Thank you,
So,
Wanda, for
yeah.
attending
Yeah.
and accepting it for us. And we will, number 35 is acknowledgement of the monthly report submitted in January of 2026. 36 is acknowledgement of the FY 25-26 budget to actuals by fund as of January 16th, 2026. Acknowledgement of the FY 25-26 contingency budget to actuals by fund as of January 16th, 2026. Number 37 is monthly reports of Juvenile Services Department. Linda.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners. I'm glad to have you back.
Thanks.
Right now, we have 153 juveniles on probation. 8 of those are in residential treatment programs throughout the state. We have 109 juveniles in pre-court monitoring, which means they're waiting to be disposed of. We have 15 juveniles in our JJAP school, and we have begun our drug counseling groups and our anger management groups again, beginning the first of the year. We'll have those periodically, and we have some other programs that we'll be starting. We presently have 30 juveniles in detention. We have 30 on electronic monitoring, and we have 1 juvenile that is pending TJJD transport. And we could have that juvenile maybe 3 months, we're not, or maybe more. In December, we had 75 youth brought into detention. 3 of those youth were out-of-county detention youth. Do you have any questions?
I don't think so.
Thank you.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you.
Number 38 is monthly report by Sheriff's Office. Kevin.
All right, good morning, Judge, Commissioners. Our average daily population for the month of December was 722. That's 612 males, 110 females, The total bookings for the month of December was 647. And today we have 710.
Okay.
Sir, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
We will go, see, the announcement of interest items and possible future agenda topics. I've got a note on here, January 26, 2026 will mark the beginning of the county budget process for fiscal year 2027. The deadline to have the capital requests entered in service now is March 13th, 2026. It's hard to believe y'all just finished up the budget process and it's starting again, so, yeah. And then we will move back up to, let me see, page, hang on just a minute. So we're gonna move back up to number 32 and convene an executive session pursuant to the following. A is Texas Government Code 551.072 to deliberate the purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. B is Texas Government Code 551.0725 to deliberate business and financial issues related to a contract negotiated, contract A. And C is Texas Government Code 551.025 to deliberate business and financial issues related to a contract negotiated, contract B. Did you tell me that was, we didn't even have but one contract?
That's correct, Judge. We only have one, and I have submitted an opinion that, in my legal opinion, that to discuss that contract in open court would be detrimental to the position of the county in dealing with this third party. I'd ask that the court vote on that item. It must be unanimous in order for us to go into executive session. Thank you.
Okay, so we need a motion and a second.
I move approval.
Second.
Motion made, seconded. No further discussion. All in favor, lift your right hand.
Aye.
It's unanimous. So there's no opposition, so it's unanimous. So, and then
Judge, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I had submitted something for Agenda 30 that was not recognized.
okay, agenda 30,
Which item?
personnel change
not on there?
status. If it's personnel, we can, I've got an agenda item here to discuss county personnel that could be included in that, if it's personnel, if that's what you want to discuss.
Yes, and I had submitted something, I think, through Marcia and to the,
Okay.
yes,
Well,
that I'd like to
we can
read.
discuss that, unless
No,
you-
it's in regards to 30, on items on 30 that you've approved. I had submitted something to be, that I would like to have read to the court, but I wasn't recognized.
Okay, so do you want us to discuss it in executive session, or?
No, I want to read it here. Thank you. Judge and Commissioners, good morning. I'm coming to you on behalf of staff to raise concerns on this agenda item. You're approving the hiring of Katie Connor in the position of transition training, all part-time, under the county judge. The job description attached to this position reads, this position works on special projects as needed. This job description is so vague that it provides no clear direction to elected officials, department heads, staff, and citizens what she's empowered to do and not do in this role. On behalf of staff, I respectfully ask that you clearly define the role, responsibilities, duties, duration, and authority of Katie Connor in the position she's being hired into, titled Training, Transition Training, all part-time. As county auditor, I report to the district judges and not the commissioner's court. And given that context, staff come to me frequently with their concerns. I have heard from staff in human resources, risk management, budget, purchasing, capital projects, in addition to my own staff on this matter. So I respectfully request that you clearly define 5 things: the role, the responsibilities, the duties, the duration, and the authority of Katie Connor in the position titled Transition Training, all part-time. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we will, number D is Texas Government Code 551.087 for deliberating regarding economic development negotiations. And E, Texas Government Code 551.074 to discuss the appointment, employment, evaluation, and duties of county personnel. And it is 11:01, and we will go into executive session to have those discussions. Let's see, I've got a list here. So for the first one, it's Aubrey, Ed, Trevor, Charles, and Katie. B is Texas Government is Aubrey, Ed, Katie, Charles, Leslie, and Trevor. C is that's yeah, we don't need that one. And then D is Aubrey, Ed, Kimberly, and Katie. And E is Aubrey, Ed, Katie, Pam, Nina, and Jennifer. And the time is 11:01. Okay, we're coming out of executive session. The time is 12:09. There's no action to be taken. The next item is to adjourn. Yes, I did sign the termination of that disaster declaration since we're past the worst, the disaster declaration, which had a 7-day life anyway, but prior to the storm that thankfully did not turn out as bad as we were afraid it might be. So I signed that termination, and we are adjourned.